Hey guys, welcome back. This is your Wit Wisdom lesson for Tuesday, May 19th. You are in your last week of virtual learning and you should give yourself a giant pat on the back. I am so proud of you for sticking with this during this entire time that we have been away. I know that it's been a lot of work and it's hard to have the motivation to keep going, but you guys have been doing so amazing and your teachers are all so proud of you. I'm so happy that you guys have worked so hard over this time to keep up all of your knowledge and learning and be ready to move on to third grade. So that's exciting. I hope you have some things planned for the summer coming up. I don't know what I'm doing quite yet, but hopefully we'll do some fun things with my family and get out of the house a little bit. So anyways, let's keep moving on. So today we're going to be thinking still about writing our opinion paragraph. So today you're going to actually work on writing your paragraph. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what it is we're working on today. Here we go. All right, so what are we going to need today for our lesson? As usual, you need your notebook or paper and a pencil. You're going to need your Wit and Wisdom workbook, your learning partner, and make sure that you find a comfortable, quiet space for you to be able to concentrate, because today you're going to need all of your brain power to write a really nice opinion paragraph. If you need any of those things or you need to take a quick stretch, pause the video and come back when you're ready to go. I remembered yesterday when I was watching the video that I had a couple of people who had sent me pictures that I didn't get added into that link yesterday, so I added them in. So let's watch it one more time. It makes me smile so much, so it doesn't hurt my feelings to watch it again today, because I like seeing everybody's faces. Here we go.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell, brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Walk with me, Susie Lee, through the park and by the tree. We can rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. We safely walk to school without a sound. Well, here we are, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. We clean up and now it's time to learn. We clean up and now it's time to learn. Numbers, letters, learn to spell, nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime we will throw the ball, then back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. The teacher marks our height against the wall.
All right. So that one was the one I wanted to show us yesterday because it had some pictures of friends in it that I didn't get in that first link for some reason. I don't know what happened. All right, so what are we going to work on today? Our goals for today is to write your opinion paragraph and then be able to read that finished paragraph to your learning partner. So 2 big goals for today. All right, think about what the community is. We're still talking about this question. Read it out loud with me. Here we go. Start at the left. How does food nourish a community? Okay, read that out loud by yourself. How does food nourish a community? Well, I want you to be thinking, because we talked about yesterday, who was nourished more by the bone button borscht, the beggar or the townspeople? So turn to your learning partner and recap what was your opinion from yesterday. Who was more nourished? Who benefited more from the soup, the beggar or the townspeople? Who did you choose? Tell your learning partner who you chose and why. All right, and now we're going to get to writing our opinion paragraph. So turn to your learning partner again and see if you can remember. Remember, what did we say? Remember, I said, I heart Oreo. What kind of cookie is that, right? So think of how we spell those and tell your learning partner all the parts of the opinion statement. There's one that's not on the screen, so you have to remember that one. Right? I heart Oreo. That's how you're going to remember that. All right, so we have the I, remember, stands for your introduction. Okay. Okay, so in your blue book or in your notebook, yesterday we filled out this evidence organizer so that you would know what your reason was for choosing the townspeople or the beggar. So wherever you wrote that information down, I want you to pause the video and find that, make sure you've got it, and we will start working on our opinion paragraph. Here we go.
Before we start our practice paragraphs, let's make sure we're super clear on the task. We want to answer the question, who benefited the most from making the soup and bone button borscht? We're going to write an opinion paragraph. We're going to support our response using evidence from the following source, which is Bone Button Borscht by Aubrey Davis. We have a checklist for success. We want to be sure to include all of the following in our response: an introduction, an opinion statement, one reason for our opinion, two pieces of evidence, and an opinion conclusion. Now we're ready to practice out loud. This can be with your partner or by yourself. Get the evidence organizer that we worked on together. This could be on handout 14A, or it might be on your own piece of paper. This is what mine look like. Make sure you have all of the pieces in the IOREO when you rehearse: an introduction, an opinion statement, a reason, some evidence, and an opinion conclusion. Pause the video now and practice saying your paragraph aloud.
Okay, so before you do this, I want us to go back. Let me find what I was looking for. There we go. Okay, so remember, oops, let's actually go forward. So when you're setting up your paper to write, okay, you're going to need the IOREO, okay? So as you're practicing out loud with your partner, I want you to think about giving an introduction about the book. Tell them your opinion. What are your reasons? What were the evidence? And what was the conclusion? Take a moment and just kind of talk through those things you wrote down yesterday that will help you plan for your paragraph. Once you have done that on your paper, let's see, I want you to set up your paper. Oops. Okay. Let me show you my paper. This will help you write, I think, a little more easily. So if you see my notebook here, make it larger. If you see my notebook here, along the left-hand side in the margin, I want you to write your I for introduction, right? And skip a few lines and write your O for your opinion statement. Skip a few lines, write your R for your reasons, right? Skip a few more lines, write your E for your evidence, Then skip a few more lines and make an O. Oops, let me see if you can see that whole thing. And make your O for your opinion statement at the very bottom there. Let's see if I can make this a little taller. There you go. So along your left, you'll have your introduction, your opinion, your reasons, your evidence, and your opinion conclusion, right? So all the parts of the Oreo. So set your paper up. If you need to pause the video, you can do so now. Okay. Let's go back to our video. Here we go.
I wish I could have heard you practice. I'm going to practice for you. In my opinion, I think the townspeople benefited the most from making soup and bone button borscht. The reason I think the townspeople benefited was because at the beginning, the townspeople would not come out of their homes and they did not want to share with a beggar. By the end of the book, they each brought something to add to the soup, and they ate, sang, and danced together. That is why I think the townspeople benefited the most. Now you are ready to write your paragraph about who benefited the most from making the soup. You have some tools that will help you. You have the IOREO structure and the evidence organizer that we used in lesson 14. Pause the video now and write your own paragraph answering the question, who benefited the most from making the soup and bone button borscht? Now that you've had the opportunity to write your own paragraph, I'm going to show you how I wrote mine. I started off with on the side.
Okay, so I'm going to stop us there. And I want to show you, let's talk about this a little bit together. Let me switch back to our PowerPoint. Well, this is the wrong one. That's why. Thinking, uh-oh, that doesn't look right. There we go. Okay. On your paper, if you're looking at your eye, if you're looking at your eye for your introduction, remember your introduction purpose is to give you a little bit of background information, okay? So you have to pretend that your reader has never ever heard of this book, Bone Button Borscht, before. They haven't read it and they don't know what it's about, okay? So this is your one sentence you're going to write to give them some information on the book, okay? So if you notice on my paper, I wrote, in the book, Bone Button Borscht, the town comes together to make a magical soup. Okay, that was mine. It doesn't have to be like mine. I want you in your own words to write one sentence to explain the book Bone Button Borscht. You only have one sentence, so make sure it's the most important information that you can tell your reader about the book Bone Button Borscht and what it is. Okay. Secondly, remember you're going to be writing your opinion statement, right? So you're going to tell your reader what your opinion is, okay? The best way to do that is you can start off by saying, in my opinion. Then they know that this is how you think or feel. It's not necessarily a fact. And you're going to be just stating your opinion and why you believe this. Okay, so for example, I wrote, in my opinion, the townspeople benefited most from making the soup. You may have chose the beggar. So if you chose the beggar, write your sentence about who you chose for your opinion about who benefited most. So you might say that you think that the beggar benefited most from making the soup. Okay, so your next part this is where you're going to write your reasons. So one reason is because the townspeople learned to share. Okay, so remember, you just need to pick out one piece of evidence, or one reason of why your opinion is that it's the beggar or the townspeople, but give me 2 pieces of evidence, because our assignment asked us to give 2 pieces of evidence to support your opinion. So if you think it's the townspeople, give me 2 examples of why do you think that? Okay, so that's in your own words. So you can refer back to your organizer where you wrote all of these notes down. And then lastly, the opinion conclusion. So remember, conclusion is your one sentence that's going to restate your opinion and wrap it all up. Okay, so my example is, that is why I think the townspeople benefited most from making the soup. So because you're writing an opinion paragraph, your opinion conclusion, it's going to be very important that you restate your opinion and tell me a little summary why. Okay? So why did you pick that opinion? Okay. You can pause the video and take a little bit of time to write that out. It might take you just a little while to work on that, but I have full confidence that you all can do this. You might need to have your learning partner help you just a little bit, but if you go back and use your evidence organizer, that will be your best resource for information. So pause the video and take some time to work on your paragraph. Once you are done writing your paragraph into your paper, okay, I want you, one of our other learning objectives for the day was to be able to read your paragraph fluently. So I will give you 2 options. If you really love writing and you want to practice your writing, your paper looks like this, right? You have all of your parts with little spaces in between, but your paragraph, a paragraph doesn't have any spaces in it, right? Your paragraph is all together, so it's easier to read. So you can either rewrite your paragraph like this, if you would like to, or I would like for you to, you can use this page where you wrote like this, and you can put all of it together as you read in one paragraph to your learning partner. Okay, so if my paper looks like this, I have all of my I-O-R-E-E-O written on my paper. When I go to read it, I'm going to read it fluently. Here's my paragraph that I'm going to read to my partner. In the book, Bone Button Borscht, the town comes together to make a magical soup. In my opinion, the townspeople benefited most from making the soup. One reason is because the townspeople learned to share. At the beginning, they did not share and they stayed in their house. At the end, they shared their food and they all ate together. That is why I think the townspeople benefited most from making the soup. So now, as you're reading this all in one fluent paragraph, guess what? You have made your own fluency passage. So I want you to practice reading that to your learning partner a few times fluently as one paragraph. Okay, once you have done that, we will be ready to move on. So for today, the 2 things you should have done. Did you include all of the parts of the paragraph in your writing? Did you include all of the I-O-R-E-O in your paragraph? Hopefully you did. Were you able to fluently read your paragraph to your learning partner? So once you wrote it out, were you able to read it all at one time fluently to your partner? Okay, the last piece of our lesson today, when you have time, this is the passage option B for our fluency this week. When you have time today, I want you to read that 3 to 5 times through to your learning partner. Remember, you're working on punctuation and not reading too loud or too soft, and you're wanting to read at the right speed so that your listener understands what you're talking about. Okay, your very last step, complete your exit ticket for the day. Okay, you worked so hard writing using the Oreo method today. I want you to pretend you're eating a package of Oreo cookies because you worked so hard and now you're hungry and need a snack. Thank your learning partner for helping you. And don't forget to read your fluency passage out loud to someone. If you have any questions, this is how you can get a hold of me. Nice job on working so hard today. Second grade, I will see you tomorrow.